So first up on the supplies list is things that I use to draw on the canvas. Now you could obviously just use a regular pencil and draw out your picture, but there's some methods that I teach that I have found really helpful in composing the drawing before I start to paint. So the things that I use are charcoal pencils, and I recommend getting General's brand. You just need one or two, and when you look at the number on the charcoal pencils, your B pencils are going to be a little bit darker. So 6B, 8B, 4B, those are going to be good for drawing the darker values on the canvas. A regular pencil, and it's good to have a Sharpie handy. This is Pan Pastel and Raw Umber and a soft tool, and you can see here on the handle it's SOFFT if you're looking for this online, soft tools, and they come with little foam slip covers that go over the tip of your palette knife. This is basically a palette knife made to go with these slip covers. I also use kneaded erasers, and here's one that's in the package, so it looks like it's square, but a kneaded eraser is actually self-cleaning, so you can just knead it like dough and it will clean itself. So this is really helpful when you're erasing out shapes and drawing with your eraser. You can form it into different shapes, and I'm going to show you some examples of what these things do to draw on the canvas here in just a minute. It's good to have a good little metal pencil sharpener. I recommend for sharpening your charcoal pencils. And here is an eraser capper. I use a lot of these for drawing with my eraser on the canvas. And then once I get the drawing situated on the canvas and I'm ready to paint, I will use a workable spray fixative to clear coat my drawing on the canvas, and I'll let that dry for a little while, and then I'm able to start painting. So let me show you some examples of what these things do as I'm drawing on the canvas. So here's a little still life drawing that I'm doing with one of my local classes, and you can see here with the Pan Pastel that when we draw, I'll use this to block in values. So I can go in the background and block in areas of medium values, and I can work out my composition, and also it erases very, very easily. So it gives me a way to draw on the canvas that's easy to get rid of if I mess it up. I can also draw in the Pan Pastel, so if I'm drawing out some highlights, I can erase. I can get rid of what I erased by adding the Pan Pastel back in there, and I can erase my highlights back out. The charcoal pencil is used for drawing the darks in. So this is a 4B soft pencil, and if it says soft, then that means you're going to be able to get pretty dark with it. And again, I'll sharpen these pencils with a little handheld. So I can use the charcoal pencil for drawing my darks into the composition. I can draw lines and work out the darks. So when I'm drawing, I have three values. I use a medium value with a Pan Pastel, erasers for creating my highlights, and then the charcoal pencil for just simply going in and kind of blocking in my darker shadows and lines. The Sharpie. So here I have, this is a painting I never did finish, and I use this kind of as an example to show how I can start layering the oil paints on. But the reason I think it's handy to have a Sharpie is often as my oil painting layers are dry, I will be able to go back and do some drawing with my Sharpie. Let's say that I completely messed something up, or I have the eye wrong. I can just go in here with my Sharpie and kind of rework some of the details. Now this eye's, there's nothing wrong with that eye, but if there was, I could change lines, I could reposition my details, and then continue painting. So with the Sharpie, I can go back and forth from drawing to painting, if the paint layers are dry, of course. So that is the drawing supplies that I use, and hopefully you would find these methods helpful for drawing your images on the canvas. Another thing to have handy for drawing on the canvas, if you would like to, you can draw on sketchbook paper first. You can transfer it to your canvas. So if you'd like to work your drawing out on the paper first, so you can get all of your details the way that you want them on the paper, and then you simply create a sandwich. I'll just pretend that this is the canvas surface. You take your graphite transfer paper, which has a dark side and a light side. Just remember that the light side goes towards the light and the dark side will face down. So I'm going to create a sandwich, and I would line this up with the canvas. And you want to use a ballpoint pen or something with a hard tip on it. You can use colored pencils. Colored pen or pencil is good because you can see where you have traced and where you have not traced. So I would simply go over my drawing that I made on the paper, and when I lift this up off the canvas, then I have my image on the canvas. So that's a helpful method, and graphite transfer paper and drawing paper is always handy to have around as an artist.